everyone. My name is Meryl Esterninos and my team member is Angeline Argoniosa and Jomer Bagundol. Introduction of one sample t-test. The one sample t-test is a statistical method in use to determine whether the means of a single sample differs so significantly from a known or hypothesized population means it applied to continuous, approximately normal data, making it useful to inferring sample average, aging standard, benchmark, or theoretical values or various fields. What is a one sample t-test? A one sample t-test as compared the means or a single sample to a known or hypothesized population means it is determined if there is a statistically significant difference between the sample means and the population means, assuming the data is continuous and approximately normally distributed. Is a sample t-test use. It is a use when attesting whether the means or group significantly differs from a known or hypothesized value. This is applicable when the data is continuous, has no groupings, and follow normalized distribution with a sufficient sample size ensuring reliable result. You use the sample t-test. Number 1. Define the null HO no difference and alternative H1 or H1 is significant difference hypothesis. Number 2. Calculate the t-statistic or using a mean and population when the standard is division. Number 3. Conferring the t-statistic to critical values or compute the p-value to decide if HO is rejected. Are the some application where you can use one sample t-test. Application of one sample t-test. Number 1. Testing if average weekly working hours in a company differs from the national average. Number 2. Assessing the whether a new product's users satisfaction score matches the industry standard. Number 3. Comparing a hospital average patient recovery time the benchmark. Describe a real-world scenario where you can use the one sample t-test. Scenario. A teaching want to determine whether the average math t-score of her class differs from the national average score of 75%. Independent variable. A grouping variable. National average score fixed value of 75 equals 75. The data types is nominal. And the dependent variable class T scores, the data types is scale.
What is the chi-square test of independence? The chi-square test of independence is a statistic test used to determine whether there is a significance association between two categorical variables. It helps identify if the variables are independent or related. When is the chi-square test of independent use? It is used when you have two categorical variables to analyze frequency in contingency table. To test if the distribution of observation across categories differs from what could be expected under independence. For example, this test is used in market research, social science, or healthcare to find the relationship between demographic and behaviors. How do you use the chi-square test of independence? Step to conduct the test. Number 1. Formulate the null hypothesis. Each O, the two variables are independent. Number 2. Collect and organize data in a contingency table. Number 3. Calculate the expected frequency for each cell under the assumptions of independence. Number 4. The chi-square formula. X squared equals observation minus expanded square expected. 5. Compare the chi-square value to critical value of the chi-square distribution table based on degree of freedom. If calculated values exceeded the critical value, reject HO and conclude the variables are related. Number 4. Application of the chi-square test of independence. Examine the relationship between gender, male, female, and voting preference party A and party B. Determining if customer satisfaction depends on age group. Investigating whether a disease real-time world scenario. Example. Scenario. A school wants to determine if participation in extracurricular activities, yes or no, is related to student grade level, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Variables. Independent variables, grouping variables, grade level, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Nominal. Dependent variable, particularly in extracurricular activities, yes or no, nominal.
What is correlation and regression test? Correlation test measures the strength and directions of the linear relationship between two variables. Regression test model the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables, enabling predictions based on the relationships. When is correlation and regression? When is correlation and regression is used to assess relationships without implying causation, while regression is used to quantify relationships or predict outcomes, especially when causal links between variables are assumed. How you use correlation and regression test? Use correlation to calculate the correlation coefficient person, which indicates the relationship's strength and direction. Use regression to create a model that predicts the independent variables based on the independent variables. Regression test application include healthcare predicting disease risk, finance forecasting stocks price, education analyzing study hours and grades, and marketing assessing advertising impacts on sales. Real world scenario independent variable. How are of study skills dependent variable? Exam score scales. This scenario analyze how study hours predictor influence scores outcome correlation and identifies the relationship strength, while regression predicts score and improvement with increased study hours.